So this is what the V-line looks like for black men. And what the V-line does is it really, really brings together your physique and it helps accentuate that V taper, which is extremely attractive to women. What the V-line also does is it makes your abs pop, and overall it just makes your physique like that 10 out of 10. So the V-line is honestly like the last thing. It's like the final puzzle piece to your amazing physique. And I'm basically going to be teaching guys on how to achieve that. This is what my physique looked like about 5 years ago. This is what it looks like right now. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys a step-by-step tutorial on how to build that V-line as a black guy. This YouTube channel is just for black guys, and just because as a black guy, there's a ton of different things that we deal with, and pretty much 99% of the guys out there right now, they only appeal to white guys and Eurocentric features. So this is just going to be for us black guys. So what is the V-line? The V-line is super simple. It's essentially just your oblique muscles, right? But there's a couple things when it comes to getting that V-line that not a lot of people talk about, and there's a ton of myths as well. Myths when it comes to building that V-line and building abs, and you've probably at least heard a couple. You've probably heard, oh, you don't need to train abs. You've probably heard, oh, abs are made in the kitchen. Abs are not made in the kitchen. You need to eat this for abs. You don't do this exercise. There's a ton of bullshit out there. I'm only going to share what's worked for me because you guys can see this is my physique. This is what my abs look like, and I know for a fact what I have done personally. So this might surprise a couple people, but I do not train my obliques to get that V-line, and I don't even train my abs. I know for some people that might sound fucking crazy, and it might seem like I'm lying. I have not trained my abs for about 6 months. The last time I was training my abs was basically just to do some core exercises to strengthen my core, rather than actually focusing on getting more definition. And you guys can see my abs are very, very defined. The main reason why they're defined is because I'm at a very, very low body fat percentage. All guys have abs. If you look in the mirror and you think you're a little bit chubby and you have just like a big belly, you have abs. It's just underneath a lot of that fat. And in order to make those abs visible, you need to be in a very, very low body fat percentage, right? When you start to get to about 15% body fat, that is when your abs will start to show themselves. You guys can see on this chart here, you guys can see what it basically looks like. The ultimate range to getting a super dialed in and attractive physique is going to be in that 8 to 12% body fat range. But if you're at 15%, if you are from 12 to 15%, that works as well. You're just not going to look as cut and as lean, right? So me personally, I hover a little bit below the 10% range, but honestly, 10, 12, 13, 14% body fat, that is going to be the perfect range, and you're going to start to see those abs, and you're also going to start to see that V-line come in. Right, so let's focus on the next part. How do we actually get lean? Because that's basically the only thing we need to be focusing on in order to get that very, very attractive, dialed in, lean V-line. And I know for some of you guys that still might sound kind of crazy, oh, don't you need to train? Don't you need to do this? Don't you need to do that? If you train obliques, yeah, over time you will actually see a little bit more definition, but actually training obliques is actually going to do more harm than good to your aesthetic and to your physique as a guy. When you train obliques and you overtrain obliques, it's actually going to make your waist look even more blocky. So when it comes to getting lean, there's going to be two main things we're going to focus on. Number one is going to be cardio and basically burning calories. Number two is going to be your diet, right? So let's focus on number one. When it comes to getting lean, here's literally what I do for cardio. So I don't actually have a cardio day. I literally just do cardio pretty much every time I go to the gym, right? So if you guys can walk to the gym, I do this all the time. I just walk to the gym. It takes me 25 minutes to half an hour one way to walk to the gym, which means I get about an hour of cardio every day for free, just straight up walking. So you guys can do that as well. That will help you guys out so much. Literally just put in your earpods, listen to music, listen to some fucking podcasts, whatever. Boom, 1 hour every single time you go to the gym. I personally go to the gym every single day. So I get about 7 hours of free cardio a week. But if you guys are only training 3-4 hours, you're still getting 3-4 hours of cardio for free a week, and it's pretty decent intensity. If you guys are uphills, downhills, whatever, and you guys are walking at a decent pace, you're still getting in a ton of free cardio. So, and another thing is when you guys get to the gym, so what I personally do when it comes to cardio is I just straight up hit the treadmill, right? You can go on the treadmill, and I honestly find that the incline treadmill is the best. You go on the incline treadmill and you put it at a speed where you're kind of walking quite fast. But the main point is you're going to want to have the incline to the max, right? So I don't know what your treadmill at your gym will go up to, but at my gym, it can go up pretty fucking high. So I would put it up all the way to the max. I'd put the treadmill on the max when it comes to the incline, set it on a speed where you're kind of walking and you just walk, right? If you're a beginner and you're watching this video, don't overcomplicate this stuff. Basically, what I'm trying to say is put up the incline to the max. If you don't even have an incline treadmill, no worries. Still do the same thing. Just put it to a pace where you feel like you can kind of walk a little bit fast, so you're kind of sweating out of breath, and do that for half an hour, right? Literally right before your warm up, half an hour of cardio, and you should be sort of sweating towards the end. If you keep doing this stuff and you're doing cardio 3, 4, 5 times a week, you're walking to the gym and then you get to the gym and then you're walking more and you're building up a sweat, you are going to see your body fat drop if you focus on your diet at the same time, right? So it's a big if. So it's dependent on the diet as well. So hit your cardio and then the diet. So let's move on to the diet. So what is the best diet when it comes to losing fat? And when it comes to getting shredded, so you can get that really attractive V-line. So I personally eat very, very clean, very basic, and very simple. So I basically just eat whole foods. Nothing processed, no bullshit, no like energy drinks. I don't even drink like juice. I drink like water and that's all I drink. And I'm actually gonna put you guys onto some free game right now, which is pretty cool. If you guys think you're a little bit too chubby and you're a little bit too bloated in terms of your body fat percentage and you don't have that V-line and you don't even have abs yet, one thing you guys can do is try and reduce your amount of salt by a lot. So you're not eating any salty foods, you're not salting your foods whatsoever. In fact, you're avoiding any food that has almost any salt. When it comes to carbohydrates, highly processed carbohydrates, or even crazy shit ton of carbohydrates, your rice, your pasta, maybe even your potatoes, you're literally cutting as much of that out of your diet as possible. Obviously, sugar, you're cutting that out as much as possible. Give that 3 weeks to about 30 days. And what will actually happen is a lot of your water retention in your body will actually drop, which basically means that a lot of that weight that you might actually have right now might not even be fat. It might just be water weight. And you might actually start to see a lot more definition if you cut that stuff out. Because what a lot of those foods actually do is they help hold on to a ton of water in your cells. And when you basically cut that stuff out, what will essentially happen is you will basically drop the water weight and you will see a lot more definition in your body. And if that stuff still doesn't work for you guys, you have dropped as much water weight as you guys possibly can, and you guys still do have some fat, it just essentially means that you need to be eating cleaner and you need to be in a calorie deficit, right? So a calorie deficit basically just means that you need to be eating less calories than what you basically need to maintain. Here's the thing though. Here's something very, very controversial, pretty much nobody speaks about in this space when it comes to health and fitness. A lot of people are like, yeah, you need to go all in on. A lot of people online will tell young men, yeah, you need to go all in on your diet in order to lose weight. You need to be 100% dedicated. You need to be eating zero sugar, zero carbs, zero this. And in some of my videos, I might come across as, yeah, cut out absolutely fucking everything. If you guys are 100% serious about this stuff, obviously you're going to want to get the maximum results. So cut out everything. But if you deep down know your personality type and after like a month or two, I'm probably going to cheat on my diet. Or after 30 days, I'm probably going to have a fucking Snickers bar. Or after a week, I'm going to, get these cravings again and blah, 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 blah. If you deep down know you're that kind of person, like the person who just kind of sticks with something for a week and then like you go back to the bad habits, here's what I will tell you. I will not tell you, oh, bro, yeah, just don't do that. Just don't do the bad habits, bro, because you fucking know you're going to you're going to basically relapse, right? So that's like the worst thing I can tell you because you're going to do it anyway. So it doesn't really matter. What I will tell you is get the best diet. Obviously, you're going to want to change your diet. Like I said, eat more clean, eat more whole foods, but make it sustainable for yourself. Okay? So make it sustainable for yourself. What I basically mean by that is, okay, if you like fucking white bread, eat a little bit of white bread every day. Okay? If you like to have a snack, you like to have like a chocolate bar, or you like to have like, a fucking soft drink, or this shit is bad for you, but if you're that kind of person and you really, really know that that's going to screw you over, you still have that stuff, okay? Still keep that in your diet, but limit it significantly, right? So let's say you're the kind of person who drinks, for whatever reason, 1 Coke a day. If you're watching this channel and you're drinking a Coke a day, by the way, I don't know if something is wrong with you, but if you're one of those people who's drinking like, energy drinks or like soft drinks every single day, cut that down and maybe only have 1 a week or 2 a week. We're still cutting it down, but that is going to give you better results in the long run than cutting everything out for a month and then relapsing, getting depressed and being like, oh shit, I'm not going to do this anymore. Never having that super attractive V-line in the first place because you just gave up, right? If you stick with this and you reduce for a year, you're going to see way better results in 365 days. At the end of the 365 days, by being on a more sustainable diet, because then you were able to give it time. You were able to give it all the time that you need, because surprise, surprise, weight loss doesn't happen like in 30 days, right? A lot of these videos will say it does, but it takes time, right? If you're super fat and you're super chubby now, you're at 30, 40% body fat. It's going to take a long while to get down to that, 10, 15% body fat where you start to see abs and you start to see your V-line. It might even take a year. It might even take 2 years, right? So that is why I recommend to you guys, get on a diet that is sustainable for you, okay? If you know deep down that you have that personality type where you have these cravings and all this shit, be sustainable, okay? But that doesn't mean like we're gonna start coping, okay? Some people might listen to this and say, oh yeah, like start coping, and no, actually, I'm gonna keep this in and this in and this in because Leon said, yeah, it needs to be sustainable. No. Let's not bullshit ourselves. We know that we need to be eating clean, we need to be eating whole foods, we need to be in a calorie deficit, we need to be reducing our water retention, but it doesn't mean that we can't have a snack every now and then, because if you have a snack every now and then, it just makes things way more sustainable for you, and it will basically help you guys out in the long run, okay? So with that being said, this stuff is super, super obtainable for most guys. A lot of people overcomplicate things. They think, oh shit, getting abs is so hard. Getting abs is so complicated. It is so much more simple than you guys think. I've done it for myself. I'm teaching you guys everything that I've done. This is all the secrets. I'm not hiding anything. This is all I've done. I basically just focus on my diet. I basically just focus on getting lean, and I basically just focus on building my V-taper muscles, and abs and the V-line are not included. It's basically just diet. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned for more videos if you're a black guy. There's going to be a ton of videos going forward on basically, dating, self-improvement, glow up, all that stuff. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.